Beautiful. Yo,
Yo, what's up, gang? How are you?
what's up, dude? Thanks for coming on, man. How are you?
Of course, man. Of course. I'm like super hyped. Like I've been watching your stuff for the better part of the cycle now, and you're crushing it, man. I love when people put themselves out there, open to learn, share their thoughts. So yeah, I'm bullish, TG.
What a fucking intro, man. That was beautiful. I appreciate that. Yeah, much love, dude. Yeah, let's just start. Oh wait, real quick. Can you smile for thumbnail? Thanks. That's perfect. Um, can you start? Let's just start with like an intro. Like, who are you? How'd you get here? What are you working on?
All right. So I'm Labib. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Kayyo. How did I get here? Sounds like cliche, but started training MMA, martial arts when I was 10, 11 years old.
Whoa.
I'm 28 now. Been doing it for almost 2 decades. Changed my life when I was 16. I lost 120 pounds because of it in 6 months. Full like life transformation, like mentally, physically, emotionally, everything.
How much did you weigh?
Um, I was big, bro. I was like 280.
Whoa, you lost 120 pounds.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
crazy.
Congrats. That's insane. That's awesome.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Um, Super early into content and YouTube, so I always respect any other creator coming on there. This is like I'm kind of an unk now, but I was on this channel called React Media. It used to
Okay.
be called like the Fine Bros.
Okay.
So like teens react, kids react, all that kind of stuff. I was on like 400 episodes, so learned a shit ton about content and
Whoa.
how to do all that. We had like 30 million subscribers, did a little over like 10 billion views, and just learned like, hey, how does like content marketing work? What keeps people's attentions? What's like the actual attention flywheel? Used everything I learned from there. Started doing growth for like startups, eventually like my own ecom brand. And then I was like, hey, that ecom brand I did, we were making hardware like exoskeletons for professional fighters. And we sold like
Ah.
25,000 units. But all the people who started buying it were like normies, right? They were watching the UFC on the weekend. They were seeing their favorite fighters. They were like, hey, I love this equipment you're selling, but like I need to learn how to do this. So eventually went the startup route, linked up with my co-founder and the rest of our team, built out some super cool computer vision tools, AI models, and now we have like over 1.5 million users on the app. And yeah, we just have been working on our token layer, which is like our rewards layer. Kind of like you can think of it as like the V Bucks or like
Okay.
Fortnite points that are working on the app. And funny thing, I also know Frank for a while too. I met him before he was Frank.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know
Back in the
that.
startup days.
Oh, no way. That's sick. Um, your co-founder is Michael, yeah?
So it's me, Michael, and Imran. So Imran, his name is Imran. Yeah, he's also on Twitter. He's more low
Not
key. He's
not
just
uh Imran from Believe, no.
no, no, no.
No, no,
You
yeah,
know
yeah.
Imran from Alliance, but different Imran.
Yeah, yeah, okay,
Imran,
okay,
yeah,
okay. Okay, okay.
yeah,
Sick. And I was calling it Kayyo. It's KO.
yeah. KO, like
KO.
knockout.
Oh, KO. Ah, I see. Can you give us give us what is it? Like what is KO? How does it work? How long has it been out? Like give me the rundown on the app.
Yeah, sick. So basically, our entire goal is like to turn the world into your dojo. It works super simple, almost like TikTok. You get your phone, iOS or Android, you
Uh-huh.
set it up, and it's basically watching you the entire time. The camera tracks your movement, puts you through different training sessions, and make sure you're doing your form correct. You're getting better at all the different technique, almost like a Duolingo for MMA.
Uh,
And the way it works is like we built this progression system where people are gaining XP, and that XP becomes like the KO token, and they have to buy different in-app assets like skins, power up boosts, all within our tokenized layer. And we've been out for about 2 years now.
oh
We
well.
like really focus on product first before ever adding like the token layer. I
Yeah, yeah,
feel like too many people focus on the token right off the bat, and
yeah,
like
yeah.
you onboard the wrong type of user. So yeah, we were always product and distribution first.
And how big is the app? Like how many people use it?
About 1.4 million
1.4 billion. How many of that is like I don't know, what is it monthly a quality metric?
MAUs, we've active users. So monthly active users, we're doing around 300,000 monthly active users.
Really?
Right? Yeah, it's cooking, bro. Like in terms of metrics, like even our organic distribution, like that's my background, right? We're doing anywhere between like 30 to 100 million views a month across all of our different pages. So we have like the main KO, KO India,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
KO
yeah, yeah.
España, and all
Wait,
that
how
fun
much of
stuff.
the 300,000 monthly is daily?
Daily, probably around like 20K, 20K, 20,
Really?
25K. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
20K daily people are using it?
Yeah, we've heard. So we just did. So we just started our like rollout of embedded wallets, right, to get everyone onboarded.
Yeah.
We did like a 5% rollout so far of the Android user base, and then we're gonna go to iOS. We have around like 5,000 wallets on chain now, and we're gonna keep
Whoa.
pushing that out. Yeah, so I'm super
Word.
excited to be like setting up this foundation and then like getting this thing really going.
That's way more people than I thought. I'm gonna be honest. Not because I was like fading, but that's a big number. Okay,
Yeah,
what happened with the token relaunch? Right?
yeah.
There's two tokens. What happened?
So we launched initially back in
On
January,
Pump, right? I remember
um,
trading this.
on Pump. Yeah, back on Pump. So this was right when we were done with 3.0.
Uh,
3.0 was where we were going to release our progression layer where the token actually makes sense now. And we finished our like Unity game and everything was good to go, which came out in like March or April after that. I did not expect our token to go to 100 million or 80 million within an
Damn, did it go to
hour.
100 million?
It went to 80 million in an hour. Yeah, 80 million an hour, and we
Whoa.
did 100 million in volume. And yeah, I mean, like, Michael. Michael has
Yeah, yeah,
insane
yeah.
motion on
Yeah, he's
CT.
got motion. He's got motion.
So people were like, Pake mode and like, just saying everything. Started blasting it. And I, to be honest, like, did not expect that to happen. And even the way we launched, like, bro, I was in my apartment in Palo Alto while I was in SF. I was like, okay, we probably need to control some supply so we can put, in the app and give to the users. So I bought 75% off the bonding curve. And next thing I just like fully bought the curve. And I was like, hey,
Yeah.
like 20K, I'll buy this. And next thing you know, I'm like, my friends are texting me like, yo, it's at 10 million, it's at 20 million, it's at 40 million. And I'm like, bro, what's going on?
Whoa.
Like this was supposed to be very slow and whatever. So that went live. Obviously, very hard to sustain that momentum, like when you are just starting to plan stuff out, right? And obviously, like crypto and on-chain move super fast. And then the market did not cooperate the months after, as
Yeah.
everyone knows. The initial launch got sniped like crazy too, and then Believe came out, and then I have like a mega bull thesis on Believe, and I've kind of had this thesis since like early this year, on like internet capital markets and how I
Uh-huh.
feel like everything is going to be tokenized, whether that be attention, whether that be capital, whether that be, any type of asset. And for a lot of our like even traditional Web2 investors, VCs, I envision a day where like there's two huge liquidity events for any investor in KO. It's going to be like you getting acquired, or you going public on Nasdaq or whatever stock market, and you going live on like Binance or Coinbase,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So there's this new two liquidity events happening now, and it's just like a natural progression. So we started chatting with the Believe team, even talked to people from like SoFin and had friends from like
Mhm.
Abstract. We have a lot of like traders who are on the cap table too,
Yeah.
just getting recommendations. But I'm super bullish on Ben and the team and what they're doing in the background. And I believe that this was like the best step forward. So what we ended up doing was one-to-one airdropping everyone on the Believe launch. So it was about like 20-ish% or so. And yeah, everyone got hooked up to keep moving forward.
Oh, so you just like relaunched it basically, but if you had supply, like if you had 1%, you got 1% of new token.
Yeah, you got one-to-one.
Okay,
Whoever
okay, okay.
held the entire, we took a snapshot and everything. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Um, I'm a fan of Believe. I've had Ben on. How much have you guys made on fees since you launched Believe?
On fees, I believe like 80 or 90K around there.
Okay. And what was your okay? So like, what is your internet capital markets thesis?
So for startups at least, right? There's this I got really into on-chain trading in Q4 of
Mm-hmm.
last year,
Mm-hmm.
because my thesis was that these are basically startups on chain,
Mm-hmm.
and people have made their money on memes, and we're now what I like to call sophisticated investors, right? People are looking at GitHubs, talking about distribution effects, whatever it
Uh-huh.
might be. And there's this really weird relationship when even, AI16Z was up or these other
Uh-huh.
products were up, like, hey, how are they going to fund these projects? Like, are they going to be selling OTC? Are they going to be selling on the chart, et cetera, right? It was a really weird environment for these companies to actually grow exponentially or even like at a decent at a progression. Believe when it came out, they made it really clear, like, hey, teams will be able to operate with the byproduct of trading and continue to grow what's happening, and everyone really wins. So the whole trader and builder incentive is aligned. And even for raising additional capital through VCs and stuff, I believe doing well on Believe with the token is like the first signal. Like, hey, someone buying your coin on Believe is worth more than a like or a share on TikTok
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because there's actual dollars behind it, right? So I think we're gonna see a lot. I'm already talking to a bunch of crack kids from SF who are
Uh-huh.
like, "Hey, like, I think this is the route I'm gonna go versus like going to YC right away."
It's okay. So the model just makes more sense to make money, like to monetize as a founder.
Yeah, even crypto as a whole, like, what are the two best things right now? It's like Hyperliquid and Pump, right?
Yeah.
And these are all revenue driven businesses. So you could almost say Believe is a platform where many Hyperliquids and many pumps are starting. There's going to be a cycle of maturity for those to get to that escape velocity, but the thesis is the same. They're producing revenue. That revenue affects, the chart via buybacks or through their users, however that thing's integrated. But yeah, it's basically creating a system of revenue-based
Yeah,
businesses,
yeah.
real businesses versus just like, standard vaporware.
How if you believe in passionate, how do you get more serious people to launch? Not that like you guys, not like you guys aren't serious or existing ones aren't serious, but how do you like continue to get bigger and bigger
Keep that
companies?
flywheel,
Yeah.
100%. So I think the launch mechanism is not that important. I feel like, we have these launchpad wars going on right now, talking about who launches the best and etc. I actually think it's like that post-launch care that matters the most. So I look at Believe as like Y Combinator on chain, right? And we're backed by Founders Inc. I would say one of the best accelerators, early VCs as well. They're behind ThreadWeb, Furkan. He was co-founder of AppLovin, crazy IPO. And what these people do is support you after you quote unquote
Yes.
go live or you launch, right? So whether that be like office hours with the Believe team helping with engineering or hiring, because that's like the most important part of building a business, helping with distribution. Like I messaged, I think, Taylor, and then right when the WAP deal happened, right? And what's like one of the biggest things happening on WAP right now? It's clipping. There's like
Mhm.
elite clippers and there's a clippers, right? I was saying, hey, you guys should probably give like your top 10 projects 10K in credits for clippers
Yeah.
and get that distribution cycle going for all of them, right? So this post launch help is what I think why I Believe is going to win because they're setting all those things up right now.
Well, I think I actually like to take, and I feel like the ICM stuff doesn't get talked about as much anymore because there hasn't been that many good Believe launches. But there's nothing like there's nothing like unique about a coin launchpad per se. Like what Pump did was like novel, but then everybody else like, okay, we're gonna do pumped out fun
It gets
style launches, and
commoditized.
you get arbitraged out. But I feel like it
Yeah,
really comes down to the like post launch support if you're gonna try to be this
100%.
like incubator, if you will. And I actually bought back into Believe the other day, not very much, but just clicked it again post the WAP integration because one, I met
Mm-hmm.
the WAP founder and he's a Chad, and then two, it was like I feel
Mega
like
chat.
Passion Nick has made it clear that they're trying to do this like support for tokens, which is like a unique angle in the Launchpad Wars.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's all about post launch. Like I think Believe dropped a credits page where they're giving like X amount in AWS credits, X amount in Google Cloud credits, Notion, all this stuff. This is like what real businesses require, right?
Yeah,
So I think we're very much in the foundation stage. Um, Businesses take more than 3 days to like
yeah,
build
of
out revenue
course.
cycles and lifelines. So once that happens, I think that's when people's eyes are going to really open up and saying like, hey, like I love what Bitcoin is doing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love what Waterminder's doing. All these are real
yeah,
businesses,
yeah.
right? That I'm a fan of, and I think like we're all going to really thrive. And this is very much like the foundation setting stage.
Why would you launch a coin with Believe if theoretically it would go well? You could just like raise venture capital.
I think the answer is to do both. So we raised 2 million in venture
Okay.
from overall from Web 2. So some of our backers are like On Deck Fund, Founders Inc., Forward Fund. They're early investors in Whoop, Replit, etc. So as a founder, and I would say like if you're the CEO, your job is to raise capital, and the biggest thing for a startup is momentum, right? So I call myself the momentum hunter. I want to win every day,
Uh-huh.
whether it be through more views, more users, more revenue, whatever it is. I'm on the lookout for that. So I think in my role, if I see the smartest people headed towards tokenization, Vlad from Robinhood talking about this is where all assets are going, I would be a fool and
Yeah,
doing an
yeah.
injustice to my company not doing that.
What is the sentiment when? Oh, first of all, do your investors like get token warrants? Like, do they get
No,
upside?
so when we first raised, this is like throughout 2023, 2024.
Uh-huh.
This is like pre ICM, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right now we're in chats with many of them of like, hey, like, how should we set this up? I mean, a lot of liquid funds are already reaching out
Oh yeah.
about like, hey, could we do? Yeah, I mean, I have like a data room where I like share my metrics and stuff, and I'm like always really confident about our metrics and
Uh
like
huh.
what we're able to do. And the opportunity in MMA in general, it's like there's this thing I like to say called product zeitgeist fit.
Uh
Darcy
huh.
Kulikin coined it from A16Z,
Uh huh.
and it's like, hey, there's moments in time where something just makes sense, and when things like the UFC are blowing up,
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
like the
Facts.
Nelk boys are going there, everything's happening. This is our time to capture this market with 800 million fans and only 2 million people doing it. And
Whoa.
I want to create a billion martial artists, and I know that we can get it done.
Okay, so you're like you try to figure it out in the back. Like, are they pissed that you launched a coin?
No, dude, they're so hyped. Bro, I'll tell you a crazy story. So like I got more into crypto because okay, so we have Mike's brother who's an investor in KO. Like
Humble DeFi farmer.
UM, I'm DeFi farmer,
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Legend.
So all those homies, right? Then we have the general partner at Forward Fund, which is the family office of Sheikh Khalid bin Mansour Al Thani. He's like one of the
Okay.
grandsons of the king of Qatar and stuff.
Whoa.
Uh, and I told them back in Q4, like, hey, I really understand what's happening on chain right now. Do you mind, like, if I spend an hour a day or 2 hours a day trading, right? And I was basically putting all my profits. I think I told Frank this back into KO, and they
Really?
got met. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you can ask Mike. I put over 500,000 back into KO out of my own pocket.
Really?
Yeah, from trading like Go, Alk, Arc, all those coins. I was like,
Whoa.
bro, like this is Go. I know you're the biggest goat bull. But yeah, I was like, bro, like once they found out that I was doing that and I had my eyes on like what's moving, they were ultra bullish on what we're cooking because they're like, oh,
Whoa.
like you want to win no matter what.
That's okay. That's pretty sick. What's the sentiment when you talk to these like cracked like SF kids about launching? Like,
I think it's sick.
what's the let me even rephrase it. What's the hurdle to get these
Mm.
people that like why hasn't Roy Lee launched or like why hasn't Eric Zhu launched or like these like cracked like startup Twitter like SF kids?
I think the biggest thing for them right now is kind of there's it's probably more from like the CT side.
Yeah.
So I would say like CT overall at this moment is really impatient with anything, right?
Valid, valid,
That's why I
valid.
still think it's pretty much meme season. So if you have these cracked engineers who know like, hey, even with the best AI tools and using Cursor and Windsurf, everything, things still take like about a week to really ship and go out, right? Those timelines might not like CT might not be at those timelines yet. So for them, they're like, hey, maybe the upside is not there.
Uh-huh.
Um, and the general sentiment I think around crypto is still like, hey, like, is this like a rug? Is this like a scam? That type of thing. So I think it's a lot around founder education. Again, why I'm so bullish on Believe. Like they're doing these talks. They're going and educating about like, hey, why this makes sense for you guys. And as CT, like again, I think once people make their money on memes and become sophisticated investors again, those time horizons expand. Hey, my devs are working. I'm okay
Yeah.
with this investment.
There's like a hard question to ask or to answer, I guess, but I have to ask is like, how do you get KO to 100 mil? 1 bill,
Uh,
10 bill,
in terms of market cap,
market cap. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I believe personally, it's a fundamental business question. So we haven't released all of our like you know, roadmaps and like tokenomics yet, but I want us to be thriving whether it's bull or bear, correct? So this is going to be a product driven question. When people use KO in the app, it's going to be, you know, I don't want to say it, or whatever I'll say it, like X amount is burned, revenue from the app goes back into the system. So like you're basically buying the token with the bet on that, hey, like KO is going to keep growing exponentially from a user base, and that is going to directly equate into how the token does. Right now, we're still laying out the foundation of like, hey, we first want everyone to have their embedded wallets and et cetera, and make sure it's all good. But once that's live, it becomes a direct correlation. Why I'm like, yeah, I know people are asking like, where do you think it's going to go price wise? I'm like, hey, all I know is that my full effort, my A plus problem is to make sure KO gets to tens of millions of users, and that activity directly correlates to what's happening in terms of price.
I think you said the magic word flywheel. I'm not sure.
I know, bro. I can't.
um,
It's so. I've been trying to avoid it for so
yeah, I
long
know,
because
I
everyone's
know,
like,
I
"Hey, bro,
know.
what's the flywheel
What's the
here?"
flywheel? It's like the new fucking buzzword of all time. How much
I know.
money? How much money do you guys make from the app? Like, how much has KO made all time?
So we launched revenue a month and a half ago,
Okay.
like in end of April. Yeah. So product first, make sure all of our like product loops are good and stuff. We're doing about 100K ARR right now. So
Well,
nothing insane, but it's
yeah.
going. Yeah.
And then what is like the monetization model with KO to make money?
So right now it's just a standard paywall that you go through on
To
iOS.
sign up, like it
On
costs money to sign
Android,
up.
exactly, we have like the weekly sub, monthly sub, and
Okay,
like
okay, okay.
biannual sub. But we're gonna test something different on Android with the token directly. And I had a call with Imran from Alliance last week to kind of chat about this. Because obviously like they incubated like Stepin and
Yeah, yeah,
Axie and
yeah.
they kind of understand
Oh,
how
yeah,
that
yeah.
all that stuff works. So I wanted to get some knowledge and pick up some like gems to see, hey, how can we try some different methods as well and to see like, hey, what's the best you know, how do we get the highest average revenue per user?
Imran's such a Chad from Alliance. I love that guy.
Bro, he's sick. He's sick. He's sick.
He's like a sick person to be working on the belief problem. I like that you're like long the ICM thesis and talking about it because I feel like it people kind of stopped, but it's one of the I think
I
it's
mean,
one of the best North Stars in crypto.
100%. Like Pump is technically ICM. Hyperliquid is technically
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ICM
Valid,
because
valid, valid.
these are all revenue generating companies, right? And like that's what we're looking at right now. Oh, you know, is Bonk going to take over the mind share because now they have more daily revenue? Like we're having much more mature conversations now, which I'm like super excited about. And on the tail end of, you know, talking about, hey, am I bullish ICM? Of course I would have to be, or why would I be working on KO? Like I have a pretty decent launch coin believe bag because like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like how can I not be invested on the upside there and work on Kale which lives on believe, right? It wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, you want align incentives. Dude, I've enjoyed this. I think like the last thing I want to ask you is how do you take KO from the 20-ish thousand daily users to like millions? Like what is in your way from this being like the biggest app or the biggest platform in like MMA fighting, UFC, like more broadly?
100%. So again, I think it's a product question. Been studying Nikita Beer for years. Obviously, he's insanely cracked, right? And I think it all comes down to like, hey, what's our K factor looking like? How many people from our actual app go on and tell their homies, hey, jump on and train
Facts,
with me, right?
facts.
So we're working on we released V1 of our multiplayer mode, which we call like clan battles. It's almost like, you know, on Telegram you have like PvP, you know, the trading competitions,
Mhm.
but now we're doing that with like working out and training with each other. So I think that's like the first step to ignite basically this exponential curve where you start hitting up a homie, he hits up two homies, that kind of thing. And then from there, we're going to scale basically our content efforts. So right now, like we're still like kind of humming along, haven't pressed the gas on the too
Mhm.
hard. And long term, you know, MMA is our first piece of like penetration because that's what we know the best. But one day, within like 5 to 10 years, the only way someone should sweat is through KO.
The only way someone should sweat is through KO.
Yes.
That's a sick one-liner. I'm not gonna lie. I like that shit. I like that, dude. That's a fucking. That's you. You came up with that?
Yeah, because look, the fitness market, it's been around for decades now, right? And I would consider it the largest market opportunity that is the highest, most fragmented market out there. You know, if we go in a room of 100 people, I'm pretty sure like 85% of them will all work out in different ways. Like, oh, I go lift here, I play basketball, I play football, whatever. So, what's the end goal here? How do we let people do what they want to do, but have them all under our umbrella? So, the technology we built, the model that we built called LM4, starts with MMA, but you can track and take on anything. This is more of a GTM question at the end of the day.
The only way anyone should sweat is through KO.
Yep.
I like that shit. Labib, you're in chat, bro. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you for the time.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. Hey, man, I just want to say, like, keep doing what you're doing. You're crushing it. I know we got like the Kai Cenats and we got like speed and everything, but I'm someone who's been watching Joe Rogan since his very first episode, like actual first episode. I was 11 years old in his Ustream back in the day, and you're up next. I'm just gonna say that.
Hey, Brain Rot has Kai and Crypto has threadguy, baby. Thank you. And that's actually sick. That means a lot, man. Thank you.
Of course, brother.
You're the man, dude.
All right.
Much love, my brother.
Later,
Have a